Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Howdy channel for a review of Wild Indian, 2021 release. Okay, I'm going to start with the technical aspects, then I'll go into the plot, and then I'm going to go into the spoilers. Here we go. The technical aspects are: the film is very, very well made. The acting is superb from everybody. The lighting is the one Achilles heel in the film, where you can tell from the very first scene all the way through that it is done with a ferociously low budget. Lighting is so hard to pull off and make look professional. I don't know what it is they do to do it, but I've watched them do it and I'm like, yeah, I don't get what those little Star Trek things are you're holding, but wow, does it make a difference. Anyways, this one doesn't have that. It does not take away from the film other than you know you're not watching a high-end production. You cannot tell from the acting, as I mentioned earlier, and the directing is fine. Now, let's go into the plot. In relationship to the plot, this is an extremely dark movie, and I didn't watch the trailers or anything. I went into it blindly, just going, oh, this is interesting, I'll take a look. I've been crying out forever that we need more movies about American Indians and with them, and by golly, they're actually starting to come out now, so I'm like, cool, let's take a look at it. And so, the story, it starts out with these two boys, and the casting of the boys is fine, except the fellow you see on screen right now. The boy they have playing him looks absolutely nothing like him at all, and then his best friend when he's a kid, it's kind of a stretch. They didn't do good in the casting there as far as appearance, not acting quality. Okay, so you have these two boys, and this one right here, Makwa, he is severely beaten by his parents on a semi-regular basis, apparently. That's the thing that they talk about, like, as being somewhat common on the reservation. And so he told you there's going to be spoilers and stuff. So anyways, he gets a gun and he decides to just randomly kill this kid. And his best friend, Ted O, and Ted O's like, whoa, okay, fine. He runs and hides, reasonably so. Then Makwa finds him and says, if you don't help me bury the kid, then you're going down with me. And so they bury the kid, and so we started out with the movie in somewhere around the late 1400s, early 1500s, flash forward to the 1980s, now we flash forward into 2019. And in 2019, all of a sudden, Makwa looks like this. I'm not really sure how tall he is, but boy does he like come off as looking like 6'7". He looks extremely tall. I'm not sure they don't actually have him stand next to anybody except for Jesse Eisenberg, who's in the movie for like 5 minutes for reasons I don't know and don't even understand what Makwa's job is. But okay, so in relationship to the plot, there are things that just, I know it's a dark movie and that's not my kind of thing at all. There's a couple of Mel Gibson movies I've seen that were like this, where they're just dark and they just stay dark and they just go in dark places and never go into the light. Yeah, this is one of those. But even at that, I want the story to be coherent. And you see that Makwa's life turns out pretty darn good, even though it shows him never really give up his habits of being seriously not a good guy. And on the other side, you have Tedo, who lands up in the pokey for 20-some years for a huge rap sheet. And remember, Tedo was the innocent kid from their youth, so plot holes, I'm like, wow, what made him turn? And they don't tell you. Then Tedo gets out of prison, comes back home, hilarity ensues, just kidding, and you have the plot moving again from dark corner to dark corner with still gaps. And I know it's a style of movies to leave the gaps and, you know, you have to figure it out. And I'm like, if I wanted to figure it out, I wouldn't need a movie. Just tell me what's happening. I don't like that style at all. And okay, now, massive spoiler. Then you get to the end, and oh my god, it's one of those movies that not only has all these like big gaps that you have to figure out, but it's also one of the movies that doesn't end. It just stops. And I'm like, oh, I was barely making it through this movie because I don't do dark movies. And and then for it to not end, I'm like, oh, thank you for pulling the rug out from underneath my feet. Now, if you look at my channel and you look at the videos I review and the type of videos I review. They're family films, and oh my god, am I a humongous sucker for Christmas films. This is no Hallmark movie. So, I'm trying to lay it out so you can judge it from the point of view of if you're into dark movies and you're into movies that have dark corners and dark turns and never go into the light, and OMG, as the spoiler was revealed, they don't end. You're just like, cool, I get to figure it out all by myself. This is your kind of movie. If you hate all those things, raising my hand here, this is not the movie for you. But I will say one last time, the acting is, nobody on this film has any bad acting chops. All of them were like, wow, I hope you get more work. Well done indeed. Even the little 5-year-old kid was like spot on. So cool. But yeah, the way that, yeah, I don't like dark. And the fact that it never goes into the light and just keeps getting darker. Yeah, like I said, it's not a Hallmark movie. Thanks for watching. Do check this movie out if you want to see it from a technical point of view or you're just into that thing. But if you're not into the technical stuff and you definitely aren't into dark, avoid it like the plague that opens the movie. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the future.